Hello, everyone. Welcome to William and the Magic Box. Today on our show, we are going to have Brett. Brett is from Springfield, in Missouri, in the USA. So let's see what Brett has to say. Enjoy the interview. So, hello, Brett. How are you?
Good. How are you, William?
Very well. Thanks so much for taking the time today for the interview. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for inviting me on. This is awesome.
So, so tell me, how's your weekend going so far?
Pretty uneventful. Just getting ready for Valentine's Day and just cleaning and chores. So,
Oh my God, yes, today is Valentine's Day. My God. So, what's the plan for today?
well, after the interview, I have a friend that's coming over, and then when my fiance gets off work, we're gonna do steak and seafood boil and watch a movie. So, we're excited.
Oh my God. So tell me how your path with your fiance across for the very first time, if you can share.
Sure. Yeah. I grew up in California, in Southern California, and as soon as I could, I was like, I'm out of here. So I moved to Las Vegas with my best friend, and that's where me and my fiance met on Meet Me. And so we started dating, and we kind of fell into some hard times, just financially and stuff. We were young, 20-year-olds. So we ended up moving to Missouri, where she's from, and that's kind of how it all started.
That's amazing. Oh wow. And she's from Las Vegas.
She's from Missouri originally, but her mom was living in Vegas at the time, so she was out there kind of just seeing how it was, and that's where we met.
That's amazing. Wow. What's the biggest difference between both of you and the biggest similarity?
Well, that's a good one. I would probably say she's a little bit more quick to her emotions. She's very passionate about things. I'm a lot more introverted, and I'm a lot more of like I like to research, figure out patterns and stuff like that. So we
Yeah,
definitely balance each other. She's very caring in her ways, and I'm caring in my ways, and we definitely balance each other out.
amazing.
With the biggest similarities, definitely be our how we like to spend our time and our love languages are pretty similar, as well as our jokes and how we like to play with each other.
That's great. So, as you mentioned, you're from California, but now you live in Missouri, yeah, in
Yes, sir.
Springfield. And why the change?
Well, it was because I met Kirsten, and we went through that hard time. So
Mhm.
she's originally from here. She had a support network, and I'm kind of estranged from my family. So we
I
just wanted
see.
a support network. So and it's lovely out here. It's a little humid. There's no mountains, but it's still beautiful nonetheless.
I see. I have like maybe two or three guests from Missouri actually on the show,
Wow. Okay.
and
Nice.
maybe from Springfield as well because I have so many people here on the show. I believe from Springfield as well. I believe.
It's a pretty centralized place in Springfield. Not central, it's southern centralized, but it's a big place. A lot of people like coming here for Branson and stuff like that.
And if I would come there for the very first time, what's a place that I shouldn't miss it? I should visit. What the postcard of the city?
Well, I'm a nature person, so there's a lot of different nature areas around here. We are like the cave state, so there's a lot of caves. Um, Personally, I'd probably say one of the rivers, like the current river or something like that. I really love kayaking, so that's really scenic to me.
Wow. And you always have this great connection with nature.
Mhm. Yeah, I grew up in the mountains in California, so I've always been really close to nature. A lot of the poetry and songs that I write are completely connected to nature, decomposition, and like ecology. Mycology and ecology are my big favorite subjects. I'm a complete nerd on them.
Wow. And what do you do for work for living, Brett?
What was that?
What do you do for work for living?
I'm a carpenter right now, but I actually am trying to move careers at the end of the year to get more into science. I want to get into microbiology. So I've been doing construction for about 5 years on and off. Me and my best friend who I work with, we owned a business in Washington State from 2019 to 2022. I worked a year in construction before that, and then we moved back. I got back into construction. It's not necessarily my hobby, but I do love learning to build stuff. I learned how to repair things and stuff like that. So it's a great skill to have, but my knees and my back don't want to do it anymore. So
I get it. Right, so let's start the interview as you mentioned already about your YouTube channel. So tell me a little bit more about your YouTube channel.
Awesome. Okay. I'm building a post-theological framework under the name of the God Who Eats.
Okay.
It's a post-theology is finding God and meaning after the death of God. So I
Okay.
was born and raised Christian. I studied a lot of philosophies, a lot of theologies, and I've always just tried to find the right fit for me. After years and years of studying and doing all this, I started to be able to put everything together. And that's where this God Who Eats came from. And I write poetry, I write music, I do essays. I'm going to start my own podcast pretty soon. And it's all surrounded from this God Who Eats post theological framework, where we take the natural world, science, and things of that nature, and we try to show that you can get morals and meaning and awe from these natural systems, that you don't necessarily need outside sources, but that's definitely not, we have people that are, it's me and my best friend right now. I'm more of the science guy. I'm very rigorous on my science, and he's more of our spiritual woo-woo guy. But both of us can fit in this framework. We allow for all the what ifs and, is there a God? Is there afterlife? All that kind of stuff is completely on limits, and, it's really fun to think about.
That's amazing. And you kind of create some videos and post online. Like, how does work the schedule of the YouTube channel?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out my schedule. I'm still really new. I started in October, and so I did a lot of posting every week for like the first 2 months. Now I'm starting to slow down. I just got finished doing a EP album, from Vile to Venom. It's a concept album that I'm going to be releasing on Monday. So it took me
Wow,
quite a bit of time to do that, so I haven't been posting. Also, I just got finished writing my first book, so this will be for sale pretty soon in like 2 days on Amazon. So
wow,
because of that, my posting hasn't been really scheduled right now, but I just try to do what I can. I make music online or with my AI since I'm kind of just by myself. So we post that on Spotify, TikTok, YouTube, and then also my poems wherever I can.
amazing. Oh, wow, you're a busy man. I can see, Brett.
Thank you.
Great to be busy. I think when you are creative, you can explore different areas and also you can find different paths and different ideas and things just start coming. At one point, you have a lot of creativity around. I love it.
It's a beautiful process, honestly.
Amazing. All right, so during the interview, I'm going to explore more about your life and also about your journey, okay?
Okay,
Are you ready to go on a beautiful journey through your memories in life and share your point of views?
I sure am.
Amazing. Welcome to William and the Magic Box. So I have here my best friend. Random questions. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to play a song. Just first relax before the first question, okay?
Okay.
Let's do it. Yes, you can always dance with me. So before we start the game, during the interview, if it comes up a question that you don't want to talk about, you don't want to answer, always can change, okay?
Okay.
Amazing. Good question. Which book had a big influence on you?
Say that one more time. Sorry, I was moving.
Okay. Which book had a big influence on you?
Oh, that's a good one. Again, I'm a nerd, so I personally read like textbooks and stuff. So, uh, Principles of Terrestrial Ecosystem Ecology would probably be my number one favorite book. But a little bit more of an easier one would be my Entangled Life by Merlin Sheldrake. It's about mycology, so it's one of my favorites.
And why is that? Why do you think that's one of your favorite books?
Well, okay, so Merlin Sheldrake, he's just this amazing mycologist, and he comes from a real interesting family. His father's Rupert Sheldrake, who has a bunch of really interesting ideas like morphic resonance. And then he has a brother named Cosmo Sheldrake, who's a musician who uses natural sounds in his music. It's really awesome. But one of the things that Merlin Sheldrake did in that book that really stuck out to me is that he used imagination and art to try to understand further than what science could say about
Right.
what is happening with specific mycological mycelial networks. And so to me, it was just like a science using imagination and art to push his understanding was a really beautiful thing to see.
Wow. You're kind of person that always have like a book by your bedside, or for you, you find, different time of the day or the evening for you to read a little bit.
Well, I'm constantly reading, at least on my phone. I'm researching at least four things a day.
Wow.
When it comes to reading books, it really depends on I'm researching all the time, so if it lines up with what I'm researching, I'll be reading, but it's really random. At least I'm reading something. Sometimes it's not a book, sometimes it's on my phone, but every day.
Amazing. Very good. Next question. Let's do it. Okay, next question is, what was the biggest punishment you ever received?
Okay. Um, all right. So when I was about, I want to say 17, I got kicked out of my house for smoking. And so I got kicked out to my pothead dad's house. Funny. Anywho, I was in real big trouble at one point in time, and I was supposed to be grounded, and I was allowed to go visit my mom and my grandma, and I took that opportunity to go visit my friends and do scumbag stuff anyways. And I got caught. And so I got whooped pretty bad that day. You know, nothing terrible. A regular amount of butt whooping, but that one's probably the most that sticks out to me because it's like I'd do it again.
What's the biggest joy of being you? What do you like the most about being Brett?
Probably the way I think, honestly. I'm
Uh-huh.
really systematic and pattern-minded. I had a hard time understanding emotions and people growing up and kind of being thrust into Christianity and stuff. It was really hard to kind of get a world view around me.
When I was checking your profile a little bit, I could see that you were born on Christmas Day.
I am, yeah.
How did you find that? Like, for example, for you, did you always have like two gifts or always just one? How did you find about that?
So,
Born
so
Christmas Day?
yeah, you don't get enough gifts as a kid, which, that's okay. My mom always made it worthwhile. She'd always get me extra gifts. The biggest problem for me was that it's on Christmas Day. Your friends can't come hang out with you or anything like that. So, we my mom allowed me to push it to whatever day I wanted, which was awesome, but I always wanted it to be on Christmas. So that was the probably the biggest struggle was not being able to hang out with people. And the other thing is a lot of people think you get a lot of presents. You don't. But other than that, it's fine. It's just a birthday. I actually really love it
And which
because
season of
I'm super into Christmas. I
yeah, carry
love
on.
Christmas and all that. So
Really? Yeah, I think Christmas is a magical time. That's where somehow people just get a bit more cozy. You know what I mean? I think the whole
mhm.
preparation. It's a shame that the day goes so fast. Like next day is like, my God, it's finished.
Well, my checkbook is pretty happy about that. So
Amazing.
it's
Next
expensive.
question. I can imagine. Next one. Next question for you is, if you could create a new emoji, yeah, what would it look like?
Um, I would make it look like my symbol that I made for my art. So again, it's a coyote jawbone. It's a deer jawbone and a coyote jawbone in a circular motion, kind of representing the trophic cascades of nutrient cycling. I think that's what I would make as my emoji.
Wow. And as you have your book in your hand, so tell me a little bit about it. When was the inspiration for you to write it?
So so yeah, so I have this, all this research that I've done for my entire life for all this stuff. So I had an elderly gentleman named Alan come to my door one day, and he wanted to preach the word to me, and I so desperately wanted to share what I knew, but I couldn't. It was scattered, it was everywhere, and so from that day, I sat down and I got everything like in order. I challenged a bunch of my stuff, and after I did that, I decided to put it into a poem, and it was the first poem I've ever made. It was called This Is Enough, This Is Everything. It was so beautiful. It captured everything so well that I just was like, "Oh, let's just keep doing this." And now I have like, I don't even know, like over 150 poems, and I started in October, so it's been pretty fast.
That's amazing. And what was for you, how long did it take for you to start writing your book until the end, until you finish, you got it in your hands?
Oh man, you know, it's funny. Writing the poems, easy, so easy. Getting them all on the book, getting everything formatted, all that fun, not fun back stuff, that's what took a long time. So I think I started in November and I was planning to get everything out by December, but it was the unfun part. And so even though it was easy, I just had this like revulsion to doing it. And so it took me a while, a little bit longer than I wanted, but so from start to finish, it took me about 4 months to get the whole book out.
Oh, wow. And it's going to be published very soon, you said.
Yes, sir. It's going to be on Amazon under The God Who Eats.
Amazing. Great. Next question. Let's do it. Okay, Brett. Next question for you is tell us something that you have done that you feel very proud of yourself.
Um, well, I actually did just get done writing an EP album that I think I told you about. It took me a while. It took me about 2 to 3 weeks, and I'm really excited about it because it follows intoxication in the animal kingdom. And so it starts from the co-evolutionary arms race that takes place in the soil. The, tiny organisms finding out how I can mess you up, and then the other one's like, well, how can I defend myself? All of that eventually ends up turning into poison, toxins, drugs, and stuff like that. And so this whole album is that story. And I was really proud of it because I added a stoned ape theory in there. I don't know if you're aware of the stoned ape theory, but it's
No,
basically Terence McKenna. I think it was Terence McKenna. He posited that maybe at some point in our history we took drugs like psilocybin mushrooms, and that leads to the consciousness that we have today. So I took that concept and I broke it down and made it a little bit more realistic. I don't think something like that happened. That's kind of magical. I think it was iterative over many different years and generations, and it like was fire and fad and pattern recognition and socialness and probably some drugs as well. And so that one was really hard to get down, and I finally finished that the other day. And so now that it's all complete, I'm really proud that it's all together and it's really narratively like solid. So, and that'll be released on Monday.
what's the meaning of life for you, Brett, when you think about life?
The meaning of life to me, I think, would be to be able to withstand perturbations. And a perturbation is just any bad thing that can happen to you. So, you lose someone, you go through a hardship or anything like this, to be able to pick yourself back up and to keep going. I think that's one of the bigger things in life because you're constantly going to be bombarded with bad things. It's an oscillatory pattern from bad and good, and it's just always going to be like that. So learning to understand when you're at a peak or when you're in a valley and like understanding this will be okay. I'll get over this. I think that's kind of one of the biggest points of life just to allow you to keep going further.
Wow. And tell me a life lesson that life has taught you that you feel very grateful for.
Um, there's so many. Um, Well, I would say being patient, and being able to like actually see past what you initially see. So, so I'm actually only allergic to mushrooms, and so my entire life I hated mushrooms. I thought they were gross and all this, and when I actually sat down and started looking at the mushrooms and just how they grow, how they do this thing, you get this beautiful new world where like you wouldn't have got there unless you took the time to get past your ick of fungus and disgustingness and really kind of try to ascertain what's going on. And so that has have been helpful in so many aspects of my life with people, with everything, really. Just being patient and trying to look past my own thoughts that I might have of something, trying to look past that and to see what someone else might be trying to put down. Not being dogmatic, I suppose.
Wow. Tell me a person in your life that when you're feeling lowest for some reason, you have those days when you're not feeling great. Sometimes you go like, I need to talk to someone about that. I just need to, open up a little bit. At the same time as well, the same person when you're feeling the greatest, you're feeling like, oh my God, I'm feeling great right now. I need to share that emotion. What's the first person that comes to your mind for both, feelings?
Yeah, that would be my best friend, Troy Dunstan. We are like on the same wavelength. And so whenever I find something out, we talk about it. You know, whenever I'm going through something, he's the safe person to talk about. So yeah, that'd be Troy.
Okay, so he's watching this interview right now and have a moment, an opportunity to send him a message. What would you say he's watching?
Get back to watching your kids, dude.
Straightforward. Amazing. I think those best friends, it's interesting how friends, you don't go around saying, oh, you're going to be my best friend, you're going to be my friend. It doesn't work like that. It's like a connection. When it's there, it's just there. It just happens naturally. Yeah,
Yeah, agreed. Yeah,
amazing. Next question. Let's do it.
sir.
Next question for you is, tell us about your best vacation and why you consider that.
Okay. The last year that we lived in Washington, we went up to our favorite spot, which was called Yahoo Lake in the Olympic Peninsula. It was the best because it was our last time we were going to be there. Like we knew it, and so we really just enjoyed everything. We caught fish, we camped in the snow. It was just a beautiful experience all around, and so that one just really shines through all the other vacations I've had.
When you think about your childhood memories, what's the earliest memory that you remember in your life?
Oh, that's a good one, huh? Hmm. You know what? I think it would have to be one of my birthday parties. My mom had all the Power Rangers come over. They were dressed up. No, wait, no. It was Batman and Robin. That's right. It was Batman and Robin, and I was so upset because Robin didn't bring his motorcycle. They just brought the Batmobile, and they're like, "You want to take a ride in the Batmobile?" And I was like, "No, I want to take a ride with Robin on his motorcycle." And they're like, "You can take a ride with Batman in the Batmobile." And I was like, "All right, whatever." That's one of
And
my
saying
favorites.
that, what would be the title of your memoir?
The title of my memoir. Hmm. Don't let pastures answer what ecosystems can.
Wow, that's a very good one.
Thank you.
Wow. And when they read your memoir, what's something that would you like people to take with them? What's a message or something that you'd love people to somehow connect with that message?
Uh, this system that we live in, this whole thing that we call Earth and everything, it's so beautiful and it's so mystical and magical. One should take the time to really look at that and accept that into their heart as just this beautiful thing. Like everything, the death, the destruction, the flowers, every single little bit of it is just so precious. And I think that's one of the big things is enjoy nature a little bit more.
Beautiful. 3 questions left. Let's do it.
Wow, this is going fast.
Yes. Next question for you is, what's your favorite place in the entire world and why?
Hmm. I think I'd have to say my little throne of rot room right here. This is my favorite spot. It's where I can completely be my fullest. It's where I can share all of my deepest feelings and thoughts. And you know, this is like I've made it all myself. Everything that you see here, I've collected myself. All the mushrooms were hand picked, all the bones were hand forged. Like everything here is just like really me, you know? And so this is like my inner sanctum.
That's beautiful. I also actually I'm from Brazil, and back in Brazil, I remember growing up. My grandparents they had the same head you have in your back. There's that bond on the right hand side for you in the top.
Mhm.
It's like
Mhm.
it's a cow, isn't it? A face.
This
Yeah,
one, that was a
yeah,
cow, yeah.
yeah. So I remember they had that as well in their living room, and I was fascinated about it. I was like, oh my God, that looks so beautiful. You know what I mean? So it just like it brings memory, you know what I mean? Those objects sometimes that you see it. And
Yeah.
For you, what was the inspiration for you to create this space where you love it? What's the inspiration for you to, to decorate and find everything there?
Yeah, so I'm like a crow. I like shiny things and bones. I've always collected them. And so when I started this whole journey for the YouTube, it was like, at first I put up a green screen and I tried to like transport me and the audience to somewhere, and that was extremely technical and really hard. And so about a month ago, I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna take it all down and I'm gonna put all my stuff and just make it me. And so it just really came together. The inspiration was just like put what's in my mind and soul behind me, pretty much.
Wow. And you spend a lot of time there?
I do. Yeah, this is I'm at least up here every day. I work 10-hour days at construction, and as soon as I come back home, I get the dinner made, I do the regular chores, and then I'm right up here writing songs or poetry or just doing something for the project.
Wow. And what's your inspiration to write your songs?
So many things. It really depends. I'm not beholden to one type of style or one type of thing. I talk about all kinds of things. I have metal songs, I have pop songs, bluegrass, like all the kinds, and usually it's just whatever I'm thinking of personally. And so, like I told you, I've been really interested in these proto-humans and the first thoughts of afterlife. And so that's just been really big in my mind, and that was the inspiration towards what I wrote, earlier. But so literally everything that I'm thinking of, I try to put that down into song because it's really helpful for me to try to get it out. But also, one of the biggest reasons why I got into songs is I could talk about mushrooms for literal hours, and everyone just gives me the dead eye, oh, that's cool. And so putting it into songs, it's like I'm trying to impart my emotions and feelings about this subject, and I'm hoping that I can give it to someone else is what the main goal is.
Amazing. Two questions left. Let's do it. So before the next question, tell about your poems. Did you always had the idea of writing, or just some part of your life somehow sparkles in you?
Well, I've always liked the idea of writing. I've always had like ideas, but I never really got into it. In Washington, I started getting into poem writing. I had a couple that I was really proud of, and then when I came back and I wrote that first one, that's when the spark kind of hit. It was like, oh, I kind of have something here. I have like my own kind of style. I use a lot of scientific languages, a lot of like big science words, as well as many different rhythms and just all kinds of things that I can pack in there. And so it's really fun because you can experiment and practice and do all types of things. And then again, like I'm always thinking about stuff, and it's just a wonderful little packet to try to like put a thought into instead of writing an essay, which I do as well. So,
And how often do you write your poems?
at least 2 to 3 times a week, if not more.
Oh, wow. And
Yeah,
usually do you have some time of the day, of the evening that the ideas come for you to write, or it can happen anytime?
it can happen anytime. I don't really do well with really rigorous schedules. I need a loose schedule where it's like you got to do this, this, and this, and this week, and then pretty like free form after that. And so I am pretty busy. I have like 16 different projects all tied to the God Who Eats. And so
Wow.
technically my poems and my music making are me procrastinating. So whenever I'm too like, mind fogged or too tired from something else, I go do that for fun. So making music and poetry, it's fun because it's my way to blow off steam, yet it still feeds back into the project. So it's not like I'm like wasting time, it feels. Yet I am. I'm still having fun. It's just this really chill. I write so much, and then sometimes I'll just be like, nope, and just throw it away and start over. So, I'm not beholden to anything.
I
Sometimes
see.
I'll keep something in my notes for like a month, come back to it and be like, nah.
I see. All right. Next question for you is, if you could be in somebody's place, in somebody's skin for 24 hours for any reason, who that would be and why?
I might say his last name wrong. Paul Rizzoli or Rizzolio. He's an ecologist. He's part of Jungle Keepers. He just lives such a fascinating life as he tries to secure the rainforest with these indigenous tribes. He's also a herpetologist, so he's like really into snakes. just like the life that he lives and like all the cool experiences and stories like that. That seems like it'd be fun to experience a little bit.
Amazing. And if you had the opportunity to meet him in real person, what would be your first question to him?
Um, well, I mean, he has some really good stories, but one of the things that he did to kind of like start his career was he got with Animal Planet, and Animal Planet was like, "Oh, you're the anaconda guy? Well, would you let an anaconda eat you?" And he was like, I guess." And I'd love to ask him about that experience. Like, what did that feel like? I bet that was terrifying to be halfway inside of an anaconda.
Wow. Oh my God, that's when you think
Yeah,
about it, like crazy.
yeah, yeah. Sit there. No, thank you.
Last question, ready?
What
Let's
was
do it.
that? Oh,
Last
last
question.
question. Let's do it.
Let's do it. Right. So before the last question, so tell me about your book. So tell me writing, put all together, when you got ready in your hands, what's something through the process of, doing it, put all together? Did you learn something about it?
Um, I guess, one of the things is I'm just writing poetry. It's not really narrative driven in the sense like the next one follows the next one all the time. And so to be able to get my entire collection of work and then kind of go through it and be like, okay, how does this thematically fit? What intros do we need to write? How do we make sure that everyone's kind of getting the story that I'm trying to put through? And so it was like a bunch of fun things that I've never thought of before because, you don't really do that with music and poetry. And so it's just like anything else, you run into perturbations and then you learn from those perturbations and you get better. And so because of that, I actually have three other books that I'm working on right now. And this is the first book. I didn't even never thought I would be an author in my life, and now I'm like, let's go, let's keep going. So I'm really excited.
Oh, amazing. Last question is, what does family mean to you?
That's a tough one for me, to be honest. Family has never been a good word in my life. I've had a lot of kind of harrowing experiences growing up, and again, I'm quite estranged from my actual family.
Mm.
So for me, family is really the group of people that you build. I have a small chosen family, and I wouldn't trade them for anybody in the world. And so yeah, I mean, but also like, when I think about it, like having the family that I'm estranged to, especially because like I'm 32 now, I lived like pretty much from 20 to 32 without family. Yeah,
Mhm.
it sucks. It really does.
Totally.
To have your father or your mother who has had life experiences, who have gone through things that can try to help you, or to console you when you go through bad things. All the
Totally.
things that people that have families get to experience, that's something that I definitely missed. And it's not necessarily something you get with your created family because they're just dudes and chicks and just they're not your mom and dad, and so I think that's for me, family is very important. And you know, me and my mom was my mom was my best friend, and we had a pretty big falling out when I was young, and I said some things that I really wish I didn't say in the moment when I was 20 and just young and dumb, and you know that
Uh-huh.
that ended up in me losing my mom for the rest of my life. And so I have friends that are like always like, oh, my parents saw this, and I it's nice because now I can be the voice of reason and be like, okay, you can tell them to, kick rocks, but I would suggest against that because, there's no reason to alienate your family just because you might have different ideals, especially if you can get past them with maybe help or whatever. And so, you know, that's the one thing I try to push with a lot of my friends that go through these kind of parental problems. Just like, hey, man, they love you in their own way. Maybe you
Totally.
should just calm down a little bit. They're your parents. If we want to talk about neurology, I mean, they have less neuroplasticity than you, which means that they're literally stuck in their brains. And so you're going to
Totally.
literally in an uphill battle trying to change their brains in a way that you might not ever be able to do. So
Totally.
cutting a relationship off because of that, it just seems wrong. And it's because I had cut my relationship off and it made my life feel a little less. But I will end with this. I actually have started cultivating a relationship with my father. And
Amazing.
so me and my fiance are going to go meet him September. We're flying out to California. Me and my fiance have been together for almost 10 years. She's never met my family. So we're
Oh,
excited. And, I talked to my dad a little bit about this. I was like, oh, it'd be nice if you were there. And he's like, you wouldn't have listened. You were a kid. You wouldn't have listened. You'd be like, oh, I'll figure it out myself. And so that was the one where I was just like, you know what? You're right. I totally would have.
oh, I think it's amazing. I love that. I love that somehow things are reconnecting again with
Mhm.
different me. Absolutely.
Well, okay, so just to add to that, I've been messed up because of my mom, and just we lost my fiance's father about 2 years ago, and I'm
Hmm.
really introverted. He was really introverted, so we never really connected. Yet we were like literally the same person. Interesting.
Right.
And so I'm sitting there thinking, like, man, I didn't get to know this man because of my own little personal foibles, and I
Right.
started thinking about it in my own sense, and it's just like you're so closed off and angry because one person, my mom, abandoned me, yet you have this whole family that's just waiting, to be there. And so like literally that was Father's Day. I called my dad the next day, and we rekindled from there. And so it was like
Well,
it was always on me to get back in there. And so I'm really glad that I kind of got over myself and started rebuilding that connection.
amazing. Sometimes you need to go through those situations for you to understand a little bit more,
Yeah,
to be able to give a next step.
yeah, it is really.
Great, not the end yet. Let's play now the word association game. Okay, I'm going to say some words. Just tell one word that comes to your mind. Quick thinking. Okay, let's start with money.
Hmm, power, no, attractor,
Okay, fear,
perturbation,
family,
life,
religion,
meaning,
love,
chemicals,
life,
organisms,
sex.
biology,
I like all the words. There's always a connection with each other. I love that. Friendship,
mutualism,
politics,
icky,
desire,
passion,
regret,
trial,
success.
stepping stone, no,
Okay, you can say more than one word. It's fine. Of
stepping stone, stepping stone.
course. Wish,
Granted.
happiness.
Fleeting.
One word for California.
Hot.
One word for Missouri.
Humid.
USA.
Uh, Beautiful yet a little crazy.
Okay. One word for music.
Vibrations.
Wow. And the last one now. What's the name of your book again? I just could see briefly. What's the name of your book?
The God Who Eats. It's everything. My artist name, my YouTube channel, my book, all of it's The God Who Eats. I'll show it again just because.
Amazing. The God Who Eats. I love the title. Okay, so one word for your book. The God Who Eats.
Two, entropy and emergence.
Amazing. Let's pretend I'm going to meet your fiancée for a coffee and I'm going to ask her. Define Brett in one positive and one negative word only. What should say?
Intellectual. Um, Trying to think of the word for bad. I guess we could say uncaring.
Okay. If I would ask the same question to your best friend, would be the same answer?
No, no. Intellectual and space cadet would be the other one.
Amazing. Let's play now Brett's in the magic box and you can ask me a question. But okay, Brett, you can ask me a question now.
All right. Would you like to hear a poem that I wrote for you and your magic box?
Absolutely, it'll be a pleasure. Absolutely. I love
Awesome. Okay. So it is called The Magic Box That Connects Us. Before the call goes live tonight, our lives stay stacked in hidden rings. Year lined tucked beneath the bark, private forest, quiet things. Then William lifts the magic box, gold flash in the fiber glare, cracks it, drops a single question. Tell me who you are in there. His questions creep like patient fungi, running down the grains we show, brushing pockets of old weather, waking rings we didn't know. We're scattered in our separate rooms, kitchen tables, thrift store chairs, yet sharp, specific bites of life start trading currents and crossing air. One small laugh unlocks another, one shy truth lets three more roam. Stories spore along the circuit, land in strangers, and fit like home. In this loose mycelial meeting where the nervous get to feed, William tending human clearings, so our separate roots can weave.
Oh my God, Brett, I've got goosebumps now. You saying that. When you start reading, I was like, there's something about the Matchbox. And after just got to understand about, oh my God, that's so beautiful. Thank you so much.
Of course, of
Wow.
course. Thank you for having me on here. I thought it was, and you needed it.
Oh my Lord. Would you mind to send that to me? I'd like to read it again. Like when
Absolutely.
I'd
It's
love that.
yours.
Oh my Lord. When did you write it?
That's for me to know. I wrote it
Oh,
last night.
oh my God. That's beautiful. Thanks so much. I'm speechless right now. That's amazing.
Good. I'm
Wow.
glad you liked it.
You,
I was a little nervous to be like, should this be my question?
my God. I think one of I never nobody ever answered a question or asked me a question this way. Very creative. Beautiful.
Good. I'm
Thank you so much.
glad. I'm glad.
Thank you. Before you go, if you can share a positive message or anything that you live by.
Sure. You are a part of a system that's always turning loss into new life. Trust that even small, kind choices ripple further than you can see.
Beautiful. Wow. Once again, thanks for the poem. My God, that's beautiful. I can't wait to read it again.
No
Amazing.
problem.
Thanks. Take care,
Oh,
okay? Enjoy your
you
day.
too. Thank you.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye. So, did you like the show? Don't forget to give a like, to share it, and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you'd like to be part of the show as well, first, subscribe to our channel, and after that, just go to our website, www.williamandthemagicbox.com, and send us a request saying why would you like to be part of the show. And I see you there. Bye bye, see you next time.